Hi everyone and welcome to the Merge Tech. In this video we'll discuss what is WebAssembly. So WebAssembly is a technology which allows you to run code or some other language except JavaScript in the front end. So before, what happened was JavaScript was ruling the web. In the front end, in the client side JavaScript, browser only understood JavaScript since 1995. Okay, even though Microsoft took out lots of other languages like VBScript and some other variations of C# or ActionScript like that, but those did not become popular and they died quickly, and lots of browser only went on supporting JavaScript. And this is the reason why JavaScript is there everywhere in the browser, and today only this is the language which is supported in the browser. But in 2013, what happened was WebAssembly came out. Okay, so using this WebAssembly we can run code of some other language in the client side. Now, does it mean the death of JavaScript or the end of JavaScript? Actually it's no, because the WebAssembly code which you'll be writing basically in C or C++ or Java, and you'll be compiling that. Okay, you'll be compiling that to a low level WASM. The format is .wasm. So that binary is pre-compiled and that is run in the browser, which is very fast and gives you native like performance. If you run a native application, you see that there are no quirks, or most of the websites, as you see, there are glitches kind of thing. It's slow, it's poor in performance, but native apps give you the best performance. So to achieve near native performance in the browser, you cannot use JavaScript because it is executed line by line and it is much slower. Okay, so you can write code in any other language and then you compile it, and then what you can do is that you can call those functions using JavaScript. Now, this does not mean the end of JavaScript. This because the DOM and other manipulations to the CSS cannot be done through some other WebAssembly code. WebAssembly code can only run some general programming stuff like running a loop. Example, if you run a loop in C++, it's much faster, around 200 times faster than JavaScript. So doing the basic tasks like processing some array or doing some mapping or looping, all this stuff you can do in WebAssembly, but the DOM manipulations, the changes to the DOM must be done through JavaScript. And after all, the WebAssembly code that you write in C or C++, those are actually functions, and those functions are like modules which you call through JavaScript code. So after all, this JavaScript is the main layer which is allowing the access to other code, and you can use those code like that through the WebAssembly API, which will be allowed by the browser. Now, the benefit of WebAssembly is that before, since we have to use JavaScript for everything, for processing, for mapping array, for processing so many things, okay, but now we can extract that part to some other language, so it is much faster to do that. And this is the reason why so many things are starting to come now, like native games in the browser, right? Native kind of performance it gives you doesn't feel like some browser game like that. Feels like a native application. You can offer other softwares which can do much more now in the browser, and this is the benefit of WebAssembly. But the thing is that it is an addition to the browser code, I mean the JavaScript code. It has nothing to do with the death of JavaScript or the decrease in popularity of that, but instead it will enhance our web development experience, and it will make the front end web development much better, just like how we do back end development, right? Even in the front end now we can use other languages, but we cannot do only DOM manipulation and other stuff, right? The browser APIs can only be used to JavaScript. It's just the extra part which we can plug in, and it can enhance our application if we require some heavy stuff to be done in the browser. But if we have only normal stuff like websites and all this, then you don't have to worry about it, you don't have to care or do anything about it. But I suggest that you just look out a little bit, and the thing is, it's not that hard, it's easy to get into it. You just need to know some other language like C or C++, and then you need to plug those code, right? The plugging part is very easy, and you should read MDN documentation, and they have pretty good stuff on that, right? So thank you for watching this episode of WebAssembly, and like, subscribe and comment to the Merge Tech, and if you have any questions then please ask it. Okay.